Hey there, anybody else going crazy out there? So I told Mike this morning, I said, I'm kind of getting a little bit crazy. I think I am. I think as soon as this thing is over, I'm going to book a flight and just go somewhere. I just got to go somewhere. I'm like stir crazy. Even if I just book a flight to Raleigh and go see my best friend Carrie, I just need to get up and go somewhere. And yeah, it's just really weird. And I was thinking about the parallels and non-parallels of 9/11. You know, when we went through 9/11, that happened on a Tuesday. President Bush shut down all the airports. It was so bizarre. And then on Sunday, the churches were fuller than they had ever been in modern history. And you just wonder, when can we even go to church? I mean, this is just so different than even 9/11. We're just living in such bizarre times. And so I was watching a video this morning from a very astute doctor, one of the founders of our company. And one of the things that he said really hit home with me is he said, really, the mental gym right now is more important probably than the physical gym, because the resilience and our coping strategies right now is really what's going to pull us through without being depressed or kind of going nutso. And I started really thinking about that because the last few days I have really been trying to do more of the self-care type stuff, like painting. For some reason, you know, we're all different and all of us have different circumstances. Like if I'm a work from home mom who has young children around my ankles, you know, I'm going to have totally different coping strategies than somebody maybe who is a small business owner who is stuck at home, doesn't have children there presently, or maybe has grown children, but is kind of going crazy with worry about your business. Because my heart really goes out to these small business owners who are unable to open their doors because they are non-essential. You know, because they probably think they're pretty essential, right? It's kind of it's their baby. If you're a business owner, that's what you do. And then I think about the people in the front line, our healthcare workers, our nurses, our doctors, our all those other people who are working like crazy right now. And you know, also maybe having to go to the grocery store to get, you know, food for their family. It's really tough for them. My sister is a flight attendant. You know, who would have thought she was one of those essential personnel who is still flying through all of this? Basically, you know, could possibly putting her life on the line. It's just hard to know with how odd that everybody reacts to this coronavirus. How some people feel mildly ill, and then other people are like intubated and in a coma almost, or sedated so much that they might as well be in a coma. So just the mental gym. What does that mean? What does the mental gym mean? Well, one of the things I started doing a couple of days ago, well, actually last week, I started doing small projects around the house. Nothing big, nothing overwhelming, like finding a cabinet area in the kitchen or maybe a small closet in the house and just clean it out. Something that I can feel successful after a couple of hours of work and just have that peace of mind that I've gotten that stuff done. Again, if you have small children hanging around your ankles, this may look really different for you. It may just mean putting them to bed and keeping them on schedule so that you can have some quiet time at the end of your evening. My other big self-care thing is painting, and I'll have to put some before and after pictures of some of the things I've been painting around the house. So anyway, in fact, I got a hold of the Westmont Gallery in Montgomery, and they're going to do curbside and meet me with some more Annie Sloan chalk paint. Now, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Annie Sloan chalk paint, but it is the coolest thing ever because you don't ever have to like sand things down. All you have to do is clean it up. Excuse my hair. I know, it's just the sign of the times. But I love the Annie Sloan chalk paint, and again, I'll have to put some of the stuff I've done in the comments here because it really, when you see something that you've improved and it only took you a couple of hours to do that, it's good brain care. It's good to have that. The other thing I found I started doing a few weeks ago is when I don't go to Starbucks every day, but I do like getting out from time to time and just getting out of the house. In fact, I've had several friends who have gotten on the road and driven 50 miles north on I-45 to go to Buc-ee's in Madisonville just for a little road trip, just because they had to get out of the house. And so that's awesome. If that helps, then go do that. I'm going to go up to the Westmont Gallery in Montgomery today and pick up some Annie Sloan chalk paint to do some more painting, because it is my sanity right now. And when I go through Starbucks, I have been typically paying for the person behind me, just a random act of kindness, pay it forward type thing. Now, I do have limits. So like this morning, the person's total was $11.50. No, can't do the double digit thing at Starbucks. So sometimes, I don't always do it, but basically if I'm there and somebody's in the single digits, I go ahead and pay it forward. Another thing I thought about doing, and this has made one person so happy because I've already reached out to her today, is I decided that some of my friends who really do have more of those reduced immune systems, and they're also clients of mine in my wellness program, I'm choosing one of them a week, and I'm going to make them dinner and take it over there, and there'll be enough that there will be more than one meal, so they can freeze part of it if they want or have leftovers, and just something nice that we can do. And of course, if they don't want to do that because they're worried, about, corona or anything else, that's fine too. So I'm certainly letting them know ahead of time, and they can opt out if they want to. That's fine. But it just kind of makes me feel good that I, just trying to do stuff like that for other people, whether it's random acts of kindness or just acts of kindness that we could do for one another, and just supporting our local businesses, like this Westmont Gallery in Montgomery, their owned small business. Yesterday we did the Red Brick Tavern for our Easter meal, even though it wasn't very Eastery. It wasn't like they didn't have some big to do Easter meal, but it was just a change of pace. And they were when I called it in, they were grateful. When I went to pick it up, they were grateful. Of course, I gave them a big tip, which I would normally do on to go. Normally on to go, I'd maybe do 10%, but I gave them a big tip because I know I'm just glad that they were there, and that I wasn't going to cook on Easter Sunday. I just didn't want to. Just tired of cooking. And so I just needed a break from that. The food was so good from Red Brick Tavern in Conroe that we decided as a family, you know what, once a week we're going to go get food from there to support them as small business owners, and try to help them out too. And that's only if you're able to. I mean, I know some people out there are really hurting because they've lost their jobs and they can't even pay for their own food, and they're just waiting for the government check to come in. And I understand that. I mean, that's a whole different situation. But just trying to find some ways to boost my mental energy, because our minds are so powerful. And your mind can be an amazing, wonderful place, or it can be a terrible prison to be in. And so right now, the coping and the resilience that we need is super important. So whether it's exercise, or whether you need to get out every day and just go in your car and drive somewhere, or whether you need to paint something or clean something out so you feel like when we come out on the other end of this that you actually had something productive done. Staying on schedule, somewhat of a schedule. I mean, it is kind of nice to do the mullet dress where you only have to wear something nice from the top. And whether you can pay it forward at Starbucks, whether you can take a friend a meal because you know that they're really struggling, all these things are good things. They're good for your mental health, and we can all kind of stand together. One thing I've noticed, and I don't watch that much news. I don't watch much news anyway. It's been kind of a bummer to listen to news in the last few years, so I just don't. But anyway, I definitely limit it now. But one thing I have noticed, because I do read the Wall Street Journal, and I do pay attention to some of it. Hey, Dorinda, I'm glad you agree. One thing I have noticed is there's not as many warriors out there about how unfair everything is to certain groups of people, because I think that we're banding together a little bit better as Americans to help each other out, and that is an awesome thing. I think maybe times were so good that, oh, you're welcome, Amy. Okay, let me tell you the Amy story. Well, let me finish because I'm down a rabbit trail. But I think sometimes when times are really, really good, that's when we get a little bit tribal and nitpicking about things and about who has it bad and who has it good and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it takes the 9/11 or the COVID-19 things to bring us together as humans, just humans, the human race. Okay, so the Amy story, this is the coolest thing. So all the Starbucks in Conroe are closed. I mean, the ones at 336 North and 105, I think they're the same owner. And then I think that same owner is at 242 possibly College Park. But anyway, my favorite Starbucks actually is at the New Trails in the Woodlands. So Snuggles was with me. Y'all know that Snuggle, my dog, loves to go for car rides. Most dogs do, but I actually have some other dogs that don't. But anyway, so Snuggles with me, and we were already kind of determined we were going to go out and get some coffee. So we drove down to the Woodlands. I live in North Conroe, so it was a little bit of a road trip, but there's no traffic, right? So it's no big deal. So I'm driving through the drive-through, and I'm doing my normal thing that I've been doing the last few weeks, and I asked, what's the total of the person behind me? So they gave me the total, and it's 5-something, 6, I don't know. But it was single digits, so it fit in my, because once it goes 10 or more, no, not doing that. But anyway, so it would fit in my window of opportunity, so I paid for it. So when I'm getting home, I see this text on my phone and from Amy, and it's like, hey, sweet lady, did you just pay for my coffee? It was so funny. So I paid for coffee I thought I didn't know who Amy was behind me, but Amy is a counselor at the Woodlands High School. And so it was kind of cool because she said when she drove up, and y'all, the baristas love it when you do that. They thank me over and over for paying for someone's coffee behind me because they just love being able to give it away. And they're hoping it'll start a trend, right? That other people will do it as well. So when Amy pulled up, and I'm glad it was a good surprise, the barista said it was paid for and my name was Jan. And she looked up in time to see the back of my car and saw UT and saw the band stickers and said, I know her. So it was really funny, and I told her that Mike just tinted all my windows, and I couldn't tell it was her because the back window got tinted too, and now I can't really see that well out of it. But anyway, it was fun, and it's a good feeling. But again, like when I pulled through today, the one in Willis, the Starbucks in Willis is open, but the one in Conroe is not. Somebody's order was $11.50, and I'm like, can't do that. No, it just kind of, that's... well, thank you, Angela. I just trying to pay it forward. I'm in a situation where I can. I mean, I'm on a teacher's pension. That pension keeps coming. I have a home business. It's still, it's not absolutely thriving, but it's doing pretty well because people are concerned about health. And this is one of the things that, as I started out this video, this all happened from our mental health from one of our founding doctors. One of the things that he said, and my sister has been harping on this for weeks, and it's so funny, I had to send her the video. He said, one thing the message from this COVID-19 has really pointed out is our personal responsibility for our own health and our mind. It has really pointed that out. It is our responsibility. Sure, we probably need some help with the healthcare, with the COVID-19 and everything, but ultimately, if your health isn't in good order, get it in order. Work at that. How can you make it better? And, there are ways to do it. You don't have to reach out to me. I'm sure there are other people you can reach out to, but, there are ways to do that. And it may not just be about weight loss. It may just be about being healthier. Maybe moving more, maybe sleeping better, whatever it is. We can all improve. So, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And it is beautiful out in Southeast Texas. So if you're in this area, in the Houston area, please get outside some. The sun will do you some good. And Hang in there. Maybe we're at the other end of the curve. Check you later. Bye.